It's time to talk about a featured film.
A feature film.
Not to talk about our past traumas with works that we used to work at and everything.
Yeah, none of that. None of that on this here podcast.
None of that.
Cause
None of decade-old trauma in here or anything.
woo! Well, mine's less than a decade, but
Yeah, that's true.
wee.
But yes, we're going to talk about a movie here today on this week's episode of the Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. It's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Lady
Hello.
This is episode number 407, and we are going to discuss Spy Family Code White. Because it's just like Monokuma, they're feeling very white today.
Does he feel different colors? I don't remember that.
He's feeling very white today.
Okay.
Very Caucasian.
Very Caucasian.
He feels very privileged today.
Got that white privilege going.
But yes, this is an original film that they put out late last year in Japan, and then eventually was put out over here as well. It is not something from the manga; it's its own original story. But they did get like the creator of Spy Family, Tetsuya Endo, to help out with it. So it's not just like they just we made something up. Here you go.
Has input.
Has some input, you say.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah. So this came out in Japan on December 22nd of 2023.
Basically 2024.
Pretty much, Let's see here. When did it come out in North America? On April the 19th of 2024.
Oh, we're a little late then.
Just a little bit after the fact, Tends to be the case. Let's see here. Box office. As of May 31st of 2024, it grossed $40.6 million in Japan and $19 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $59.6 million. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty decent for an anime film. It was fifth in the weekend it debuted in the U.S., because it debuted with $4.9 million made in U.S. box offices. I almost said U.S. films. I'm like, that's not exactly what that means. On the Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 94% rating and an average rating of 7.4 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
So again, pretty decent.
Pretty decent.
Decent. And then they had some funky marketing with this, where they had a collaboration with things like Street Fighter 6.
What?
Yeah, they had a thing where Yor and Chun-Li were hanging out.
Yes, I remember that now.
Doing their own thing, and then they put in some stuff into the game as well. There was apparently a collaboration with the last Mission Impossible film.
Huh?
Yeah. So that's a thing. There was also a collaboration with the Disney film Wish. And then when the film came out, they put out a statue of Bond next to the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya.
Wow. We
We watched this on the Crunchyroll because it came out, I think, around...
On the Crunchyroll.
It came out, yes, on there. In September, they put it out. So you could watch it dubbed or subbed, whichever, tickles your fancy. And yeah, this was a fun film. Very much captures just the spirit of the anime and the manga. It feels right in place with both of those in terms of the canonical story and everything. Nothing feels weird or out of place sometimes you kind of get in these anime original films.
Right.
You just feel this is just a very long episode of the anime that I hadn't seen before. It's just, fun, goofy things that are going to happen here, especially that involve, crashing airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
Poop, of course. And, having a fight against a robot and a bunch of fire.
Yes.
Normal things that happen, of course.
Also, Jealousy.
Jealousy. Just like the Killer song.
I was literally thinking the same thing, but that's because we share a brain
We
cell.
do. This is not the first time we've done this tonight. Brain cell, brain cell, brain
Brain
cell.
cell, brain cell.
But yeah, this is a very fun movie. I had a very good time watching this. It's very dumb in the best ways. The whole the poop scene, the poop subplot is just so dumb and ridiculous, but it also just fits entirely with the
It's perfect.
everything that makes this series this series.
Also, the art style is wild.
Mm-hmm.
It is intense art for pooping.
For pooping. Sometimes you just gotta have a little subplot about poop.
Sometimes you do, you know?
That's just
Especially
the way things go.
Especially when you have a small child who is, needing to poop.
Needing to poop.
Sometimes poop has to happen. At least it's what I hear.
Sometimes poop needs to happen. That's true.
Hmm?
It always happens at the worst possible times. What I hear. You're like, oh, I don't gotta go. Then you gotta go. Welcome to Poop Talk with the SAC OVA. This is what we get paid the big bucks to talk about.
Pooping.
Pooping. This might be the most instances of the word poop in a podcast that we've done. We've done, 407 episodes? 406 before this, I should say.
Yeah.
Just all poop all the time, apparently.
Well, not quite, but this is definitely the most instances of poop we've talked about. I can guarantee that.
Oh, what a stinky situation.
Damn.
But yeah, this movie, it's all about they're thinking of replacing Lloyd in Operation Strix, and also Anya's gotta have a big project at her school where they're gonna do like a cooking competition, and she could get a star for it. So
Estella.
we gotta find out a way to make the principal's favorite dessert, and that means we have to go to the snowy land, because that's where you can find it and learn how to make it and everything. And that's how we're going to win this competition and everything. And that's how Lloyd's going to stay on this operation and everything.
Yeah, he's gotta have a win.
Yeah. The whole family goes on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Bond's there too, which is great.
And it's wild because they take him on vacation and they leave him outside.
He can't come into the restaurant. They said no.
Well, check that before you take the dog to the restaurant.
Look, they don't have the internet there.
Take the dog to the hotel, then go to the restaurant.
But he got like free dog food. They made him
True.
like specific food just for him. And he's like, oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Nom 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 nom.
Oh man, good dog. Glad we got a lot of Bond in this film.
I don't know why it just sounded like Mickey Mouse.
I'm a Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse not in this film.
Not in this film.
Turns out.
Not in this film.
But yeah, they go on vacation, and then Anya stumbles upon a international plot that involves a piece of chocolate that she eats accidentally.
Yeah.
Nothing bad's gonna happen out of that.
Nope. She finds this fancy box, opens it up. It's like, oh, this is weird. It's just chocolate. And then somebody tries to come get it, and she
fumbles
gets scared and fumbles it, and the chocolate falls in her mouth. And she's like, well, I guess I'm eating this chocolate now. Oh, well.
And then she's got to run away from them, and then Yor shows up and just beats him up. Which is very good.
So she's like, they're trying to get me. And Yor's like, not my child.
That's my kid. I don't know you.
I'll beat you up. And she does.
She definitely does beat him up. It's very good.
Yeah.
They go to this land called Frigis, obviously because it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
They go to this, like I said, they go to the fancy restaurant. Bond can't come in because no pets allowed.
Nope.
And they're going to get the fancy dessert, the mare, whichever one you call it. Whatever you want to call it. Call it whatever you want.
I don't know. I don't even know what it is. It looked fancy.
Let's see if this is a real thing. One of the things that comes up is just Spy Family. Mayor is a small town in the North Waikato region of the North Island of New Zealand, of course.
Okay. Normal.
That's something completely different.
Okay.
Nope, that's still just the same thing. Still just like, hey, do you want to talk about this place? I think this might just be a thing
Like a made up thing.
for this.
Makes sense.
Well, they had a collaboration cafe with Capcom where you could apparently get this. It was a lemon tart.
Oh, huh. Not what I would have expected. Because one of the main things is a cherry liqueur.
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 Let me see if it's different if I put it into with the L's instead. Nope, it's just like, here's a thing from Pokemon. Is that what you want? And I'm like, no, that's not.
So probably just made for this.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Okay.
Either way, it's just a fancy dessert and everything.
Mhm.
So they go there, they're gonna eat it, and then this
Military man.
jerk of a colonel shows up. And he's like, I want it. Give it to me instead. And him and Lloyd have a little competition where they're gonna find out how this was made and everything, and what the ingredients are within it. And they both get everything right, but then the colonel has all the ingredients down to like their specific
Like the weights that you would use for
like the
it.
measurements. Yeah.
Yeah, the amounts.
He's like, well, I guess you win. Here you go. Everyone's sad.
They don't have the ingredients to make another one, so
No. But
Ripperoni.
they do the proprietors of the restaurant are like, here's the recipe. Like, if you want to make it yourself or get the ingredients for us, we'll make it for you. You know.
So then we're on a family mission.
Family mission where there's this big market in this area and they get to go around and just like find all the ingredients and stuff, but they can't find the red liqueur.
The cherry liqueur.
Cherry liqueur. Yours also been anxious because she thinks Lloyd's cheating on her because her workmates were talking about people cheating on
The
them.
signs of cheating.
The signs of cheating. It was just like going on a trip, getting gifts out of nowhere, and then just like
changing the way that they dress.
changing the way they dress and everything. He's like, oh my gosh, all the signs are here. She also saw like him having a rendezvous with Fiona, and she thought they were like kissing. He's like,
Yep.
no, this isn't happening.
Nope.
So yeah, Lloyd gives her some lipstick, and she's like, ah, and then she gets drunk and then just like freaks out and then passes out. You know, as you do.
As you do.
And then they get to go on the Ferris wheel, and Anya's like, you two are going on the Ferris wheel.
Go flirt.
Go flirt. And they get to go on the Ferris wheel and have a good time.
Yor ends up like punching Lloyd out of the Ferris wheel.
Yes.
Oops.
That's very good. The military people are off on their own base. They got a big like Zeppelin type thing, airship that they're gonna fly on, and they wanted that chocolate that Anya ate, and apparently it has a microfilm in it that was gonna instigate a war. So now they gotta find Anya in this microfilm that's in her belly, and also the family needs this cherry liqueur. And there's nothing. They can't find it anywhere. Lloyd's gonna like sneak out and go get it, but they're like, we should go with you. And he's like, no, I will do it myself. And Anya's like, oh, fine. I go to my room and then I'm going to go find it myself. The Bond, we're going to go. Which they do find it. They're very like, resourceful in doing it. But then Anya gets captured and Bond gets knocked out.
Rip.
Which Lloyd and Yor are eventually able to figure out like, hey, she's gone. We should go find her. They eventually find Bond, who's been knocked a loopy, but he bit off a military patch. So they're like, okay, well, we know what's happening. Fiona's also like working as like, I guess like a person who works at the hotel. And just like drives up and is like, oh, do you need something else, sir? And they have their little spy conversation like, hey, this is what's happening. We're going to go do this. Okay, cool. Lloyd just steals the plane and then just like is like, I'm gonna go get her. See you later. And then Yor's just like, I'm gonna sneak onto this plane and go with you, I guess.
No, we're doing this as a family.
Yeah. So that's a big thing. The big airship tries to shoot Lloyd's plane down, but he just crashes into it. All while Yor's still just on this plane. And just like, What's going on? Why are we on this plane? I'm trying to find my family.
Where's my husband and kid?
Yeah. Also, they're trying to make Anya poop. That's the big poop storyline.
That's the poop
They
story.
want to make her poop, so she poops out the microfilm, and then they have it, and they're good to go.
And then they're gonna kill her.
And then they're gonna kill her, or they're just gonna kill her and then just like open her up and
Get the microfilm.
just root through her intestines until they find the microfilm. Essentially, that's the other plan. If she doesn't poop,
Yep, those are the options.
those are the two options.
And she's like, I don't have to poop. I'll never poop. And then, like, as soon as she
Immediately
says
she's
that,
like, "Oh, I gotta poop."
gotta hold my butt.
So it's just a whole song and dance of her like acting like she's fine and everything, but really just struggling to hold it in. And these two nincompoops are just like, "You gotta poop. You gotta poop. Come on, you gotta poop."
Poops.
Hey, that was unintentional.
Hey!
Thumbs up.
Yay!
So all that happens. She eventually does poop, and then it just goes into the ship's plumbing, obviously, and they're like, "No, oh no!"
The Colonel guy's like, all right, well, I guess you get to go sift through the sewer for it, or the whatever it's called.
And then they're also just gonna kill her now.
Yeah, also that.
They like throw her into like this like office under the bridge, and just leave her there. And then Lloyd shows up. He's disguised as the Colonel, and then makes a whole scene and is like trying to trick the Colonel's soldiers into thinking he's not the real one and everything. And there's this whole like gas thing, but then they were able to like break the windows to let the gas out, and then Lloyd's able to win the upper hand and everything, and tells all the other
that he's the real one.
Yeah, it's like, get out of here, the ship's going down, we gotta go. He finds Anya just trapped underneath, and she's like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Meanwhile, Yor's just like walking through the ship, just like, hello, is my family here?
Where's my husband?
Where's my husband? Where's my daughter? And then like the soldiers like will try and fight her, and she just beats them up. And then she finds like in this big kind of like open area, like there's just a cyborg that they have on this ship, and he's just gonna fight
Everything's
her.
on fire as well.
Everything's on fire, and like they're like, okay, here's where we're gonna put all of our fight budget into this scene and this scene alone, just to make it look incredible and all that sort of stuff.
And they did.
Yeah, like it's a very fun fight. Like it looks incredible. Obviously, like I said, they put a lot of money into this scene, and just makes Yor look just like an incredible badass. And just the way that she's able to like eventually defeat this cyborg soldier and everything with like the limited amount of like weapons and everything that she has on her and all that sort of stuff. It's incredible. Very fun to watch. One of the highlights of this film for sure.
Yeah.
And she's able to win because like she uses the lipstick to set him on fire.
She's like, yeah, by the way, lipstick, mostly oil. Bloop. He's like, oh no.
And then Yor just shows up on like the bridge as they're trying to like figure out what to do with the ship, and they're like, what are you doing here? Like, I kind of just stowed onto the plane. It happens. All the while, the big airship's about to like crash into the city, so they have to like find a way to maneuver it and get it away from the city so it doesn't cause damage. And they crash it into like a river or a lake or whatever, and everything's hunky dory. Everyone's safe. We survived. They find out that the microfilm was not in Anya's tummy.
Was not in the poop.
Was not in the poop. It was just stuck in her teeth.
Yep.
As you do.
You do.
So they get to go home, and everything's fine. Lloyd shows the microfilm to his handler, and his handler's like, yeah, good job. Also, by the way, we're not going to change you out of the operation. The guy that we were going to get, like, turns out, like,
he f***ed up.
he messed up. We caught him doing some stuff, so that's not going to happen or anything.
She's like, wow, what a bad time for him to screw up, huh?
Well, it's just such a shame. The cooking competition gets delayed because something happens to the principal, so like he can't judge it, and then they push it away, and now the judge is the vice principal. So they're like, oh god, we gotta find out a new dessert to help Anya win. New vacation time. Warmer. Gotta go somewhere warmer though. It's too cold.
Yes, too cold.
And Bond's like, I'm thinking of a nice relaxing vacation that's gonna happen. It's a good time. It's a fun
Yay.
movie.
Yeah, it's a very fun movie. It's beautiful. Like that sequence where the whole poop thing happens, where there's like a god
So
of poop.
dumb.
It's
Yes, the god of
beautiful.
poop is so ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. He like moves with farts.
Yes.
But like it's also like a beautifully animated scene.
It's very much like you're just like watching a drug trip, but it's a small
Yeah.
child who has to poop and is
Yeah.
getting like encouraged to poop.
It's like all like watercolory looking.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's also ridiculous.
Mhm. Yeah, like
It's
I
a
think
fun movie.
it's a fun movie if you're a fan of the series. Like, there's no reason not to watch this. I think like if you hadn't seen the series or anything, this is a good introduction point because like it's nothing super out of the ordinary or like anything or like really dives into like deep story stuff within the series or anything. Like, it kind of gives you like the basics, and then here you go. You're kind of just into it, and it's a very easy watch. Like, it's a hour and almost 2 hour film, but even then, it's a very quick and easy watch to get through. Time flies when you're watching it, and just like
Hmm.
it's a very fun time. So yeah, like, if you're a fan, definitely check it out if you haven't. And if you're like you've been wondering about this series, like I think this is a good starter
Hmm.
to like check it out and see if like you find it interesting or you find the humor up your alley or
To your
anything
taste.
to your taste. And that could lead you into watching the anime or reading the manga, whatever floats your boat.
I need to start reading the manga.
It's good.
I've heard that from you.
That's me.
From you specifically.
Hello.
Um Also, there is a post-credit scene
Yes.
with our poor pal
Poor
Frankie.
Frankie. Yeah, so like there was a scene before where Lloyd's like, "Hey, can you give me some of this cherry liqueur? Bring it here because we need it." And he's like, "Oh, I was gonna go on a date, but I guess I'll do this. This is my job." And then like the girl he's going to go on a date with like finds a dude at the movie she went to, and then they get together and he's all sad and he goes there and he's like trying to find Lloyd in the post credit scene, but he doesn't know that they're already gone. They've
Yeah,
already gone
poor
back home.
Ripperoni.
Uh dude's dude's going through it.
He's struggling.
I mean, that's his whole thing, is that he's constantly struggling. Let's be real.
True, fair.
But yeah, fun film. I really enjoyed it. Like, obviously, I kind of knew going into it it's probably going to be fun, but like, I think there's always a bit of a stigma when I think comes to like anime original films, especially stuff like this where it's like non-canonical or anything like that, because you always kind of think like, oh well, it's going to be kind of just like meaningless and everything. So like, there's not a whole lot to really dig into or get out of it, but I think they did a good job of like really adhering to just the stylings of the series, the way the series operates, like just the writing and everything feels just very much in line with what you would see in the anime and the manga. And it just makes it be such a fun time that like you don't even really think like, oh, I'm just watching a film. You're just like,
Hmm.
I'm just, like I said earlier, like it just feels like you're just watching more of the anime or something of that nature, or just like, just a thing you hadn't seen yet. And you're like, oh, cool. More of
Yeah,
this. I would like this.
I would like that, please.
So yeah,
Yeah,
good time.
it's a good time, and like you said, it feels like there's some continuity with the series itself.
Mhm.
So, A plus.
Good fun times to be had.
I agree.
So yeah, I would not be surprised if they do another film for this series. Like, obviously, I think that has not been, nothing about that's been announced or anything. Like, they haven't, like, I don't think they've announced a season 3 yet, but I would assume that's also going
I
to
would
be
assume that's gonna
something. I
happen.
guess they have announced a season 3.
Oh, okay.
They announced it in June of this year that season 3 is coming. So yeah,
Nahone.
so that's coming some point in the near future. But like, yeah, I would not be surprised if they decided again, be like, hey, let's just make another one of these,
Right.
original films and just do something silly with it.
Time for them to do Code Black.
Hey, there you go. You nailed it.
Hmm.
So yeah,
See, I could be in the creative industry.
it's true. That is Spy Family Code White, the Spy Family feature film. It's a fun one.
It is a fun one.
Fun times to be had.
Also, like Jealous Drunk Yor is pretty good.
Yep, it's always a good bit.
It was a good time.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week. So if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalamecheckup.com or sac.cool where you can find past episodes of this podcast. Don't get cold chills when you're doing that.
Sorry.
You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can follow us on Blue Sky at seasonalamecheckup.com. You can find our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early. Our monthly bonus exclusive podcast that we do just for Patreon listeners and patrons. Yep, that's what they're called.
Yep.
There's a whole wealth of other bonus content on the Patreon as well. If you want to sign up for that, it's a fun time.
Yay.
Come on down.
Come on down.
And also, we are talking about Love Life Superstar Season 3 on Jared and Now Watch Now. So if you want to hear our thoughts about the unprecedented third season of Love Life Superstar, that is out now. You can listen to our thoughts about the first episode and what we think is going to happen moving forward.
Correct.
Next week we'll talk about something else.
Something else.